coming slow. Never mind. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Parayo Krishna Prastayo Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Parayo Krishna Prastayo Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvesesa Sunyavadi Pasacharya Satarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvesesa Sunyavadi Pasacharya Satarine Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Gopichana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Gopichana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yasodanatana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanatana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yasodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanochare Jayo Kunja Vihare Yamuna Tira Vanochare Jayo Kunja Vihare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Kunja Vihare Jaya Kunja Vihare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Kunja Vihare Jaya Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Radha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shade Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Harinaam Sankirtan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Hari 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 Bol. What's up time? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. The Bhagavatam class for this morning from 4th canto, chapter 25, text 16. Right. 17. Okay. All right. Text 17. And the title for the chapter is The Characteristic of King Puranjana. Hare Krishna. Puriyastu. Okay. Puriyastu. Okay. We said the word first or? Puriyastu bhayo pavane. Puriyastu bhayo pavane. Divya druma lata kule. Divya Druma Lata Kule Nandas Vihangali Kula Nandat Vihangali Kula Kolahala Jalasaye Kolahala Jalasaye Puryastu Bayo Pavane Puryastu Bayo Pavane Divya Duruma Latakule Nadad Vihangali Kula Nadad Vihangali Kula Kulaha Jalasaye Kolahala Jalasaye. What meaning? Puriyaha, of that town, to then Bhaya Upavane, in an outside garden. Divya, very nice. Druma, trees. Lata, creepers. Akule, filled with. Nadat, vibrating. Vihanga, birds. Ali, bees. Kula, groups of. Kolahala, humming. Jala asaye, with the lake. Translation and purport by Srimad Srila Prabhupada Ki. On the outskirts of that city were many beautiful trees and creepers encircling a nice lake. Also surrounding that lake were many groups of birds and bees, and that were always chanting and humming. Please repeat after me. On the outskirts of that city were many beautiful trees and creepers encircling a nice lake. Also surrounding that lake were many groups of birds and bees that were always chanting and humming. Purport. Since the body is a great city, there must be various arrangements such as lakes and gardens for sense enjoyment. Of the various parts of the body, those which incite sexual impulses are referred to here indirectly, because the body has genitals, and when the living entity attains the right age, be he man or woman, he becomes agitated by sex impulse. As long as one remains a child, he is not agitated by seeing a beautiful woman. Although the sense organs are present, unless the age is ripe, there is no sex impulse. The favorable conditions surrounding the sex impulse are compared here to a garden or a nice solitary park. When one sees the opposite sex, naturally the sex impulse increases. It is said that if a man in a solitary place does not become agitated upon seeing a woman, he is to be considered a brahmachari. But this practice is almost impossible. The sex impulse is so strong that even by seeing, touching, or talking, coming in contact with, or even thinking of the opposite sex, even in so many subtle ways, one becomes sexually impelled. Consequently, a brahmachari or sannyasi is prohibited to associate with women, especially in a secret place. The Shastra enjoined that one should not even talk to a woman in a secret place, even if she happens to be one's own daughter, sister, or mother. The sex impulse is so strong that even if one is very learned, he becomes agitated in such circumstances. If this is the case, how can a young man in a nice park remain calm and quiet after seeing a beautiful young woman? So the verse again. Prayastu bhayo pavane divya druma lata kule nadat vihangali kula kolahala jala saye. Translation. On the outskirts of the city were many beautiful trees and creepers encircling a nice lake. Also surrounding that lake were many groups of birds and bees that were always chanting and humming. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshu Urminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvei Namaha Krishnai Kachetamadamo Havinashakarim Madeshkachar Prabhu Prabhupada Swami Dosa Vidhi Paridi Dusita Manda Buddhim Santintyami Charano Tapa Bhakti Hetu. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Garadha Shri Vashari Shri Gaura Bhakta Binda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we've been following this chapter, this part of Srimad Bhagavatam, this 17th chapter, where the great Saint Narad Muni is explaining the king. So he said, what the best way to, because the king Barisat, he was getting too much attached to sense gratification. And then, although you can say his spiritual master was so concerned that if he carry on in that way, he will eventually go to hell. So when a spiritual master take charge of a new candidate or accepting a disciple, so the spiritual master, he will give some instruction and direct the person to, so that they can go back to God. And Srila Prabhupada always say, you make it in this lifetime and don't make me come back. Don't make your spiritual comeback because you couldn't make it in this lifetime. So in a sense that service to a spiritual master, that we become serious in our own spiritual life, so that our spiritual master didn't have to go through this endeavor again to direct, educate, take birth again and come back, because you're in this material world and indulging in this sense gratification. So the spiritual masters, they feel that they didn't complete their duty. I remember Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj would tell me, the spiritual master's duty is to do two things, that Shiksha and Sasana. give instruction, direction, and also chastisement. So he says the spiritual master, they don't do those things that they are not then he said to himself, he said, I'm not doing my duty properly. So spiritual master take responsibility as long as, that's why in Bhakti Sadachar, we train to identify who's a candidate, who's a disciple, and who is a spiritual master. So the spiritual master is connected to a parampara and is the genuine coming down from Lord Krishna himself. And then to accept a candidate unknown of his origin, because we have to track down Brahmananda Brahmi Dekona Bhagavate Jiva Guru Prashna Paya Krishna Bhakti Lada Beach. And then after many lifetime, you come in touch with the spiritual master. So how to trace it, the beginning of the conditioned life, how somebody got entangled so much, the conditioned soul got involved in sense gratification. It's practically impossible to trace it. So Srila Prabhupada did say one time that one may not have a good karma. The disciple said, Prabhupada, it's my good karma that I came in touch with you. It's my good karma. Srila Prabhupada said, you didn't have any. Prabhupada said, you didn't have any good karma. I have created that for you. Srila Prabhupada ki. So that's how Srila Prabhupada, that spiritual master, they come from the spiritual world. And his associates, those who take charge and become sincere and help the spiritual master, became his disciple. Prabhupada say, those are Venkuta men, coming from the spiritual world. So you understand in this chapter, it's like an allegory. It's some way indirectly. Be careful. That's a story of, that's why I say Narad Muni, for the best way to present it, to give this story, and like that. My grandfather used to tell me story. We used to go and sleep by my grandfather, and he would tell a lot of stories, because he was from the British time. So he was one of the heads of the British time. And English was fluent. I remember going there and learning English from him. And then, so he tells stories. So it was nice. He wanted to explain something, he would tell a story. And so he tend to, also, my classes, I always give a story, so that you can easily understand and never forget. And it becomes so easy to also reflect, and then this way you see it, that it makes sense. So King Puranjan, he is one of the main person in this story. So you can say the King Puranjan is compared to the conditioned soul, that they are conditioned soul, they are King Puranjan. And then Srila Prabhupada makes a few points. Bondage in the material life begins with bodily identification, and the strongest knot is sex desire, which expand into family attachment, social obligation, and endless material entanglement. So it's so sex desire is a central attraction of material existence. Other day Maharaj gave a lecture, we had Bhagavad Maharaj gave a class, he said how, yes, material world, everything is based on sex desires. Anyway, we won't give the class in a Sunday program, but we can address this issue among devotees who understand more advanced. That's why these kind of topics we'd only discuss especially in morning Bhagavatam class, where our postgraduate students, devotees, they have been studying scripture, they know, they understand. So why is Srila Prabhupada emphasizing this? Thinking, feeling, willing. There's three things. Thinking, feeling, willing. One, contemplate. While contemplating the objects of senses, one, develop attachment to them. And from such attachment, lust develops. Right? And when lust is not satisfied, anger, and when anger, then we become angry, then you eventually go to hell. Because you become angry, you do a lot of nonsense, you don't think properly. When somebody gone mad and chasing after, some kind of intercourse or whatever, like that. And Prabhupada always give the example that the donkey will chase after the female donkey, and it get kicked on his face, and it keep going, and it keep going, keep getting kicked. So when one is Prabhupada was not against. Prabhupada was not against that one can have a relationship, a man and woman can have a relationship. But Srila Prabhupada always said, the element tendency that not getting married and stay together is Prabhupada. He actually was so direct and on the Western civilization. So Prabhupada, it doesn't happen in a Vedic civilization that you want to have this relationship with a woman or man with a man, but you don't want to commit yourself. And then Srila Prabhupada would see his Western followers in the beginning. So he saw that freely mixing of boys and girls, and then cracking joke, hugging, and some cases they come and they kiss each other. It's like a normal way of of living. This for them is nothing, Yeah. So it was. Srila Prabhupada was concerned. He said, if you boys want to be together, if you have this desire, to become intimate with your partner, it's best you get married. So Srila Prabhupada get them married. So Srila Prabhupada said, married is not a license to get involved more and more in sexual intercourse. And then marriage is to learn to control the impulse. That's why you get married, when you can control. And then we encouraged a new candidate to be a brahmachari for a long period of time. And then they are trained properly as a student under the direction of the spiritual master. And then they learn about external energy, internal energy, and how you should refrain, and you must be careful while associating with the opposite sex. So it's like that. I remember one of the preaching center. I was a temple commander there. So there were these devotees. They were so-called engaged, intend to get married. They sat down in a bench. So they sat down in a bench in a garden, a temple premises. Then new guests coming, and they were they were carrying on in the public. So because they were engaged. So then complaint came that this is the ashram, temple environment, and then what's going on? So people get a bad impression of the society that is freely mixing with boys and girls. So not criticizing, go to other, I better not mention. So other, religious organization, they will go, boys and girls will they will posh up nicely and then going to worship or going to pray to God, or just they're going on a date. So meeting the opposite sex and like that, how much of... So Srila Prabhupada wanted to set an example that's why in our society, big gathering, public gathering, we will keep the ladies, separate. Then we are not going anything against them, but I think this way we can focus what we came for and focus on praying and chanting properly. That's why we never put ladies in front and the men at the back. So it happened on one temple. Devotees were going in front, and Temple management came, no, you go at the back, and you put all the ladies in front. So, so he was saying, what's going on? So it's best this way, so you can focus, And then, so this desire to indulge in this, with the opposite sex is, once you get married, then what happened? Of course, after you get married, their wife, right? Wife, husband, children, relatives, right? And these attachments bind the living entity, making liberation extremely difficult. So without Krishna consciousness, even the moral and religious family life remains a bondage. Only devotional service can cut this knot. So there are the rules and regulations still apply. That one, the brahmachari take a grihastha ashram. That now, like I said earlier, grihastha ashram doesn't mean he's licensed to kill. Sorry, not licensed to kill, but it's a license to freely, indulge. So it's one thing is like, if this attachment or this couple coming together isn't based on a bodily concept, so I can guarantee, I'm a grihastha, I'm telling you, I'm guaranteed this is not going to last, because everything based on the body. And the body, it changes, You put on weight, you lose weight, you get darker, you get whatever. In some ways, hair falling off and all of that. So if this attachment is based on a bodily concept, these couples not going to last. So you come into a man who is in that relationship, if he is strict about to control his impulse, and then no offense towards the ladies, but so there is a more chance of this couple last longer. So don't have to be like a donkey getting kicked on the face. So we don't want to be that donkey. And then Prabhupada just mentioned that we put Krishna in the center, that actually you come together, we help, and this way we help each other to progress. And if you want to have a Krishna conscious child, then I think I said that other day, that you follow, chant 50 rounds each, and and then purified. After you chant 50 rounds, you probably, you give up the idea of having a child. You say, what should I become? But I said, yes, I was saying about how that environment, people should learn that how this we more focus in our spiritual life, maybe in a grihe tako, vane tako, sadahari bule tako, and then grihe tako, vane tako, sadahari bule tako. The other line, sadahari naam bolo re. So is this word. So it doesn't matter which griha, which varna or ashram you are. But you have to take to chanting of the holy name, and which will keep you on track and keep you purified, and realize that what's your position, that there are a lot of sanskarification when one come to grihastha ashram. So I maybe thought, I thought, from brahmacharya become a grihastha, I don't have to iron my clothes, I don't have to cook. I don't have to iron the clothes. It seems like I'm doing the ironing and I'm doing the cooking. So we don't stay in that delusion, and I love doing it. So that the grass is greener, the other side, a brahmachari think if you think, the grass is green on the other side, and then one who already there, you will see the grass is not that green. So we must live in that delusion that the brahmachari laments and the grihastha also laments. So what do we do? So that's to say, griya tako vane tako sadahari naam bolade. So it doesn't matter that which ashram one person is, that he has to put Krishna in the center. Putting Krishna in the center and carry on. So there was a morning walk in early 70. There was Sri Prabhupada was going on a morning walk, and one of the disciples told Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, I'm thinking of taking a second wife. So he's thinking of taking a second wife. And then Srila Prabhupada responded, said, we want to decrease sex life, but you want to increase it. So, I mean, that's what Prabhupada said, that's all. So the message was clear. You eating khichdi on a paper plate, eating khichdi on a stainless steel plate is the same thing. So you don't need to you want to try khichdi in different plates. It's the same so-called sexual pleasure you're looking for. It's just a matter of you changing your plate to another plate, isn't it? You understand? That's what I'm saying. So you're fooling yourself. So it doesn't matter. So this is what it is, because you get involved, you marry, and you really out of control, and then this lusty desires, this sexual pleasure, there's no cessation for that. Srila Prabhupada used to say, it's like you want to put the fire off, but you're pouring ghee on it. Right? You're pouring ghee. Prabhupada said, boys are good, and girls are good. They're both good. But you put them together, it's trouble. But when you put them together, it's a problem start. So you keep the butter and the fire separate, keep them separately. So the understanding is that Jivera Sarupa Hare Krishna Nitya Das, we are eternal servant of God. We see in that way that Eka Iswara Hai or Sababritya. There's only one Iswara, one Purusha, and all Prakriti. We are all Prakriti. Bhumi apanolavayo kam mandavadhira man ahankari diname. Bhumi earth, fire, air, ether. The earth is made of bhumi. So, because Prakriti is in French, it says an L, means E-L-L-E, means it's female. So we, Prakriti, we also consider to be female. So sometimes the someone is identified with the body. Sometimes you say the soul is a body and the body is a soul. Sometimes you explain in that way. Are you confused? So when you say I, you are referring to the soul. At the same time, you're also referring to this body. So the Prakriti, Eka Iswara Hai, Sababritya, everybody, there's only one Iswar or Sababritya, all subordinates. Sarva Munishu Kantaya Sambhutiya Tasar Brahma Ahar Yonir Aham Brija Prajapita. So the Lord, Sarva Yonishu Kantaya, He is a Parampita Parmeshwara. He planted the seed. The seed is planted by the father in the womb of the mother. But the original seed is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So, if you had understanding that in this way that we are all Prakriti, we are supposed to be serving. It's so, there are so many, I can tell you many stories, how if you are not careful, to know that how much of danger it is if you become careless in association of the opposite sex. And in our ISKCON society, and it is is available so easily. You can be so much of temptation. Some predators, they come to ISKCON to take advantage of that, and to easily mixing with the public, mixing with the boys and girls and ladies this way. So if we, as a member of the society, we don't control it, and let's imagine. And imagine you go outside, every trees and a bench, you see girls and boys are cracking jokes and sitting there, like that. A lot of things happening. I've noticed that as well. Hugging, punching. You're not supposed to, a man not supposed to take another woman except your wife, and ladies the same. There's no such thing, you're my brother, come here, I'll hug you. No, I'm not your brother. You're my mother. So not forget, we can say in Hindus especially, oh, we are brothers, and other people say we are brothers, sisters, and why should Prabhupada say mother? Why mother? Why not sisters? In the other society, they say we are all brothers and sisters. So Prabhupada said we are mother, and then the men are dressed, and the lady as mother. This disappointing. One time, this Mataji addressed another Mataji as Mataji, So this, out of respect, what the greatest respect one can offer a lady when addressing the person as mother. I'm putting that in a high platform. Am I right, bro? That you offer the respect to a lady, a woman, as mother. So it happened. This new devotee, she addressed another Mataji, who was the most senior, as mother. He said, Mataji, I wanted to talk to you. I said, don't call me Mataji. Call me Prabhu. Don't call me Mataji, call me Prabhu. So, okay, we know Prabhu means master, right? So call me master. Not even a spiritual master tell the disciple, call me master. So where is the humility? To be very, very careful. A very subtle way to have this ego. We think we are senior and everybody should address me as Prabhu. If you show that same love, addressed your junior devotee as Prabhu, you are inspiring that person. Of course, the new devotee, you feel very embarrassed, very uncomfortable to be addressed as Prabhu. So don't call me by my name or something. These are all mood, it's very subtle, very, probably we think it's insignificant. So addressing somebody as mother. So there was a question raised, if you're calling everybody mother, so how come we marry one of the mothers? Maharaj said, Bhakti Maharaj said, you call everybody mother. Until you've been engaged or married to one of them, then till that point. Yeah. So you don't even call somebody by name. Okay, there's a senior devotee, you can call the new Bhaktin by name or Bhaktas by name, that's fine. But avoiding. So it's not an excuse to say, you know what, I can call somebody by the name. So what happened there? You tell me. When you call somebody a Mataji by her name, what happened there? You already broke the barrier. You broke the barrier. Am I right, bro? You have broken the barrier for you and that person to become more casual. Call you by your name and become friend and become so casual. Then all the casual talks start. Prabhupada said casual become casualty. So when you broke the barrier, then you talk freely. You talk freely. So, joke, a brahmachari, there are so many points that what a brahmachari shouldn't do. Well, let's see what the Prabhupada says. So we cover these points. So Prabhupada made a point. My Western disciples were not trained Brahminical king. No? Brahminical king. They were not trained to be Brahminical and brahmacharis. But Srila Prabhupada refer a little bit here that this was a quote that was a point I made earlier. That in the Western disciple, they can't understand that because because they carry on in that way that a friendship, that's how sitting next to each other, touching, and all of that. So when you sit in the temple, we don't even touch our person next to us. What to speak of contact with the opposite sex? That's how I was taught as a brahmachari. That when you sit, you don't even touch even another brahmachari. You have this, and what to speak of sitting next to a opposite sex, and you have this contact. So Prabhupada also said that Bhagavatam says that, in the purport I think the Prabhupada mentioned, that to be in a secluded place. So what to speak of wife, but you know what, when daughter, mother, we have to be, not to be in a secluded place alone. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in, where it was, Madhya-lila, or I think of Madhya-lila. Sri Mahaprabhu said, he made a statement. I better put me in a room and set fire. I better be in that room that you set fire, than be around among women. Right? That doesn't mean he is against the woman. Because imagine Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of God, but he was a sannyasi, so he said, I better stay in a room set on fire than being. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strict. He was very strict. Do you know that what's the devotee's name? I forgot his name. This incident is in Antya-lila. Chota Haridas, no? What? Chota Haridas. So I need to share that with you. So Chota Haridas, he was a sannyasi. So he was a sannyasi. So it happened that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was supposed to come for lunch that day. So we had to come for lunch that day. And this one Grihastha devotee sent Chota Haridas to go and beg for grain so that we can cook and make a feast and for the Lord. The intention was good that we go out and collect and make something for the Lord, for lunch for the Lord. Hmm? So there was another Mataji, another devotee, Madhava Devi. Madhava Devi, Dasi. She was elderly, and then when this Giriyasa Brahmachari sent Chota Haridas to go and ask for grain. So he went there and begged for grain. So when you ask for grain, there's always a tendency to get in a conversation. When you get in a conversation, always like that. Prabhupada said, you can talk to a lady, for example, in the kitchen, whatever it is. The amount of conversation you have, pass me the salt. That's all. That. So, when he asked for grain, rice, and there was a conversation. And then, not all of them, but some people like to talk, like to get in a casual. So there was a conversation, interaction there. So he came back, gave the grain and cooked. And then Srila Mahaprabhu, accepted the lunch. Then when he ate, he said, it's a fine rice, beautiful, Mahaprabhu is enjoying it. They said, where did you get it? He said, no, I sent Chotahari to ask for Madhava Devi, Mataji. Sent a sannyasi to ask a Mataji for grain, just that. So, we think it's not so serious, So, Mahaprabhu sent a message to Chotahari that I don't want to see him anymore. That he has broken his vow. That he has broken his vow to get into, casual talk with opposite sex, with a woman. And then Chotaharidas, imagine Chotaharidas, he was very advanced devotee, because he thought it's a service for Mahaprabhu. That's why he went and asked. Then Chotaharidas, Mahaprabhu didn't want to see him. After a long time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, where is Chotaharidas? So we didn't see him for a very long time. Later found out that Chotaharidas gave up his body. He gave up his body where the Ganges, Yamunas, those places were probably, if I'm not mistaken, in Prayag. He went to Prayag, so he went there in sacred rivers. He actually, he committed suicide. So he thought what Mahaprabhu said, he broken his vow. So he said he committed offense, so he gave up his. So to that is how serious it should be. That when we take that vow, a brahmachari also take vow when they accept a spiritual master. And okay, let's read this one. How a brahmachari should be. A brahmachari is trained to control the senses, especially sex desire, and to live fully dependent on Guru and Krishna. The follow instruction of the Guru and Krishna. Main qualities: strict celibacy, no sex life at all. No association with women, simply living plain dress, plain food, no luxury. Plain food, plain doesn't apply to me. I always wore raw silk, even when I was a brahmachari. But anyway, don't have to. I'm so attached. Plain dress, plain food, no luxury. Humble service attitude. Obedient to spiritual master. Fixed daily sadhana, chanting, hearing, studying, attending morning programs, sadhana. So Srila Prabhupada's words, quote, brahmachari means no connection with women, that is a brahmachari. In a lecture of Prabhupada in Srimad Bhagavatam, quote, as soon as one becomes attracted to women, his brahmachari life is finished. Brahmachari life is meant for training the mind so that later one may either remain renounced or enter grihastha life purely. Purely. Good brahmachari become a good grihastha. A rascal become a rascal. So, like that. Only unavoidable, formal, duty-related contact must be there. Never intimate, friendly, joking, or casual association. That's why I said that there's a lot of opportunities. We had situation. I've been in DT department for 23 years. So you see this drama there as well. I have to say it. So we've seen drama there. A lot of devotees got involved. A lot of devotees were kicked out because this casual talk and a lot of other stories carrying on there. The best way, if you want, is in the department of kitchen, thing like that. Put a mask and don't talk, and just carry on do your service. Even in this temple here, there were devotees kicked out from this duty department. But that the lesson learned that we shouldn't repeat. So, if somebody are doing engaging in a DT department, so I'll speak to Deva Prabhu, I want to do DT service, and no, in the mood I like to do any menial service. Why? Because there's a boy there, there's a girl there that I want to chit-chat with. If that's the intention, it's wrong. Am I right? If they can be there, but it must be kept separately as Srila Prabhupada requested. Now let's see a sannyasi. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport about sannyasi. A sannyasi is completely dead to material life. Dead to material life. Especially sex desire. He lives only to preach and depend on Krishna. Main qualities: absolute renunciation. No home, no family attachment. No personal money accumulation. No private association with women. So, you can talk to Mataji, but you have somebody present there. The Mataji brings somebody, and the sannyasi got another brahmachari with a person. That there are 4 people in that way. Whatever happened there, you can't say what happened. What do you say that famous thing? Whatever happened in this thing stays there. What? So there is no secret, right? So there's nothing to hide. Fearless preaching, complete dependence on Krishna. Those Srila Prabhupada words. Sannyasi means no sex life at all, not even dreaming of it. So this is a lecture on Prabhupada, and a quote from Srila Prabhupada in lecture Charitamrita. If a sannyasi associates with women, he is finished. This was the morning conversation and the morning walk of Srila Prabhupada. A sannyasi should be very strict, otherwise his fall down is guaranteed. Association with women even more strictly prohibited than for brahmachari. Must never live alone with a woman, should not engage in personal counseling. That's a famous one, counseling. When we become leaders, we think we can do counseling. We become head, we think we became untouchable. I know everything, you don't know anything. I know everything. So I do counseling from there. Then you counseling, you're looking at the opposite sex, you're looking at the body, looking at the lips, you're looking at the eyes. So what else goes on there? It's trouble. It's trouble. That's how much counseling? 15 minutes? 45 minutes? Yeah. I said that's an education. Like that. There's no counseling. Be very careful. There's another casual way of having another casual joke and cracking joke. I've seen that. I've seen a sannyasi, I wouldn't mention name, but so I've been traveling to India almost twice a year, or now once a year, or Pineapple we have to go every year now. So I've seen sannyasi. This sannyasi, the 4 or 5 devotees cooked a feast. And I was sitting there, asked me to come and sit and have. Then they bring desserts, a range of sweets. Then he asked, who prepared all this thing? That was good. Concern, compliment, and who prepared this thing? There was about 3-4 Matajis. So call them one by one. One come, Hare Krishna, Mataji, what did you make? And this and that. Who is this? Who is this? So and so. Oh no, my wife, my daughter, like that. All right. Introduced. Prabhu, she prepared this, she prepared that, she prepared that. Right. So a range of sweets, maybe about 4 or 5 different type of sweets. Rasgulla, gulab jamun, barfi, this and this, name it, everything was there. So he asked the Mataji, what do you want from here? He said, no, Prabhu, it's okay. No, Maharaj, okay. No, what do you want from me? He said, okay, I want this one. He takes it, he bites it. He bites it and he gives it to her. Mahaprasad. It's done one time now. Finish. Who's next? Who's in there? Come. Another one come. So and so, so and so, so and so. Right? Give me time. 8? Thank you, Mataji. So, next one comes. Mataji, so and so, what do you like from here? No, Maharaj. No, take, we want this? She likes sweets, eh? She likes sweets? Yeah, she likes sweets. But take, oh, this one, okay. He takes it and he bites it. And he gives. And carrying on like a few times like this. And I was there. It's not my place. It's not my business to stop that person, Maharaj. And then I take my prasad quietly. And then we brought Maharaj Maha. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even try it. I didn't eat the remnants as well. But I don't know, it's my ego or what it was. The Lord forgive me. That I tossed it. I didn't, no one saw it, but in a way, I accepted it, the remnants. Somebody gave, Maharaj remnants. So I'm saying in general that he shouldn't, it's very, very, very awkward. It's like unlikely a sannyasi or person to be renounced. I never seen even a sannyasi doing, even the gurus doing that. Yeah. Gurus, actually, they have a container of sweet. That person comes and they hand out and hand out and hand out and hand out. It doesn't bite on it. I give you a bite on it and give you, about that. So that was extreme. So in conclusion, like this Puranjan, King Puranjan is, I go say, tell you, it's an allegory. It's just a story that the conditioned soul, how they after sense gratification, and Narad Muni here, he tried to explain how much of danger, how much it is, and he told later on you see how Narad Muni put it. It's beautiful, this one. I think it's a life lesson here of the conditioned soul, how they can deviate, or your danger. Now you know. And then knowingly one can't jump in a dry well, and when you're calling for help in that dry well, it's covered with grass, and then you're calling and no one can hear you. So in a household who a grihastha who is a griha medi, doesn't control his senses, a brahmachari become a grihastha, and he eventually become a griha medi, and he suffers through all this pain. Then and he called for help, and no one can see, no one can hear. So griha medi ashram is compared to a dry well, a dry well covered with grass. It's very precarious, very sad situation. So Prabhupada said, putting Krishna in the center, engage in devotional service for regulative principle, chanting the holy name. Girita Kopane Thakur said, Harinam Bolore. Any ashram, you just chant the holy name and be vigilant. Set an example for others and for others to follow. Purity is a force, we always say, and keep your purity. What's a better way to keep the purity when you have respect for one another? Respect the ladies, respect the man, the Prabhu respect the women, and the ladies, Madhajis. And let's create that spiritual environment. And everybody grow beautifully, bhakti, devotion, and make advancement. Shri Prabhupada ki. Thank you.